Welcome back to Snackcast, everybody.
What's up?
We are rolling down the tracks on our vitamin/mineral. I think we have to add supplement because one of the earlier episodes we did on this was CoQ10, and we've since learned that it's neither a vitamin or a mineral. It's a true supplement, I guess. So it's vitamins, minerals, and supplements.
Nice.
So
nice. Like what you did there.
Today we're rolling on with vitamin A,
Yes.
right?
What's the code word for it?
The code word for it, retinol.
Retinol.
And originally discovered, it was called Factor A.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll have to look up the doc who named it that. But, yeah, that was the whole Factor A, then Factor B. And then they figured out Factor B was really a bunch. So, anyways.
Nice.
So, vitamin A, you led with the research on this
Hundreds of bodily functions. These are the highlights. Vision, gene transcription, bone metabolism, skin and health development, and mucous membrane. So it's involved in a lot of different bodily functions.
A lot of different.
So what happens if you don't get enough? Frequent infections, dry skin like eczema, right? You can get that. Dandruff is another popular one. Tender eyes. Eventually, you can get dry eye syndrome. I did not research what that is, but dry eye syndrome is evidently a real thing.
Sounds terrible.
So, retinol
is, let me guess, Latin root word.
I don't know, but it sounds very eye-like.
Yeah.
Tender eyelids, right? Infertility is another big one. Stunted growth and poor wound healing. So again, skin.
There's a lot.
It is absolutely necessary to get vitamin A to be able to have a child. So the doctor who says, don't worry about vitamin A and you're pregnant, you should get another doctor. So it's absolutely important for the baby. So, all
right, I've heard of prenatal vitamins. I've never looked into what's in them. I'm assuming there's a heavy dose of vitamin A.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. Vitamin A is typically one of these things that you really probably should not get in a supplement form. Vitamin A, anytime they put them in cereals, anytime they have them in supplements, they are in synthetic form. And your body can't sometimes absorb that. It can't convert that.
Sounds like what we learned about fiber and really just basically being refined wood pulp when added to food. It's not the original intended ingredient at all. So if you can't supplement through, I'm assuming that means pills and to your stamped on cereals. There's some algae bacteria
stuff that you can get it from. Again, humans need to they if you Google it, I think pronounce this right, carotenoid. I don't know. So that's what is, if you Google it and you say, how do I get vitamin A? They would typically point to things like spinach, sweet potatoes, pumpkins, carrots, peas, cereals. And really, those are in very small amounts. And on top of that, your body can't absorb it from those foods. And even if you could absorb it, you're going to have a hard time converting it into true vitamin A.
Okay, well, yesterday we told everyone that some foods have vitamins and minerals, and carrots was one of the examples. That beta-carotene?
Beta-carotene is a carotenoid. Carotenoid, if I'm not saying that right, then, again, I should have done
So that's a good one.
No.
Gosh, this is confusing.
It's not. Beta-carotene is a carotenoid or whatever I'm saying. I don't even know how to say it. Laugh at me all you want. But it's those in those foods. It's poor. You get poor absorption and poor conversion.
It's kind of like the old minimum wage thing before. You could survive off of it, but it's going to be very difficult.
And it gets even worse. Synthetic vitamin A in supplements. Number one, you can overdose on, and number two, it's been linked to cancer.
I'm confused.
Yay! So there's vitamin A we need.
Where the world we get it from?
Right. It's in. You think it's in the food, it's not. And even if it's there, it's hard to convert. And by the way, if you get it in a supplement, you can overdose from it. But if you don't get it at all, you can die.
Sounds like marriage.
Right. All right. So here are your best sources for
I knew you'd come through. I knew it.
Liver. All your livers. Your chicken livers, your beef livers, all your livers, all of them. They all have great sources of vitamin A. Now, you're making the face, so obviously, what's behind number 2, Dora Bob?
What's my second option?
Right? Egg yolks. A lot of people can eat egg yolks. You eat 3-4 eggs a day, you're good to go with vitamin A. Pasteurized butter or ghee, right? Fatty fish, right?
Is fatty fish like the savior for everything?
I think so. I mean, fatty fish is your sardines and all of that.
Yeah, even salmon.
Yeah, I mean, all in those camp. Again, if you're really in the anti-liver-ish campaign, you can do liverwurst. It's kind of like a bologna.
Okay.
Right? You can get it processed and get it on your food. They say that it tastes like salami, bologna. It actually tastes really good if you can get past the name.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're pregnant, if you're on a low-fat diet, you absolutely need to get your vitamin A. There are serious birth defects and things that can arise by the child.
So really the option most everybody's going to go with is get your egg yolks.
Egg yolks is a big one. Well, again, butter. Like real butter, like
grass-fed. So Kerrygold. Kerrygold would be good.
You remember Dr. Dom used to say about, my vegetables.
What are vegetables? They're fat and butter delivery vehicles.
Right. Yeah, they're fat delivery mechanisms. So you can eat your vegetables, but goes against proper thinking.
Right.
Load up your vegetables in real butter, and it's a source of vitamin A.
We are not a huge team. I think at last check, we're 18 people in this building. And someone in the building today looked at me and said, we were talking about, I'd smoked some chicken wings, and then I crisped, if that's the word, them on the griddle, right? Because smoking doesn't really get the skin crispy.
Right.
And I said, I would really love to have a deep fryer. Immediately out of somebody's mouth, fried food's bad for you. I had to edumacate.
Nice. Nice.
We talked about seed oils versus
we did a whole
natural
series on
tallows.
Seed oils and stuff.
Dude, if I had a deep fried chicken wing in tallow and beef fat,
right,
beautiful
beef fat.
So stay away from the processed fats, the margarines, the seed oils, but your natural fats, your butters, your tallows, your lards. Stay away from shortening. Yeah, it's a killer. But
you're spot on. Again, it goes back to whole foods, natural whole foods. This is going to be, and again, this is one you can't take a shortcut on. You're just not going to absorb it. And heaven forbid you do absorb it, you might be getting some sort of synthetic cancer crap.
Yeah.
So there's no shortcuts. This is a whole food supplement.
Well, I will tell you, and I will challenge you. You and I are talking about splitting like a beef half, right? Yeah. And, free range instead of buying meats from the store.
That's an interesting one. We should bring it in.
Comes with the liver.
Ooh.
You can eat it? Come on, man. We'll throw that thing on the griddle with
You're going to have to teach me how to cook it.
I have no idea. I've never had it.
Yeah.
I'll
get over it.
My mother-in-law loves it.
I'll get over it.
But she's Minnesotan. So they eat all kind of weird stuff.
But he's talking about, we are talking about getting a cow, splitting the cost of a half cow, and
we are
lots of
free range,
lots of beef,
grass fed.
Yeah.
So it kind of brings me back.
We just made half our audience vomit. Is that right?
I want to circle back to the egg yolks, and we talked about doing a snack cast on this, but even at Sam's Club, they have the brown shelled eggs. And if you compare the egg in that to a regular white egg, the white egg, the yolk, is almost a yellowish orange.
Yellow versus a dark.
The brown egg is a darker orange. Now, farm fresh eggs,
the kind that you can sit on the
free
counter.
range, that kind of.
Yeah, the kind that don't need to be refrigerated. You sit them on the counter.
Those are almost like
almost red.
I don't want to say blood orange, but
right.
they're almost a blood orange. So, again, when it comes
and even
to
the yolk seems like very highly defined. It looks like a white egg is almost loose. And,
it's almost like a ball, and the white eggs are flat.
right.
Yeah. Well, so that I want to make that point that if you choose eggs as your vehicle for vitamin A,
better go
dude,
get
I'm sure you'll get a much better dose if you get the better eggs. And at the end of the day, it's like $1.50 more a dozen.
Well, you mentioned on the cow. I bet you we get a totally different cut of meat in the cow versus.
Oh, I'm sure.
You do at.
I'm sure.
The beef people.
It's supposed to be wagyu.
Wagyu.
That's Japanese, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
Nice work on the homework. I appreciate you running with. Today was payroll day, so I didn't have. I had other things to do. So, questions, comments, concerns, hit us at snackcast@yes.fit.
Stay moving.
See ya.